Hey everyone, ready to turn strategy into action? Welcome to this week's episode of SmartBug Zoom In. Every week, we're going to take a closer look at HubSpot features that we've covered in our SmartTake series. In this 5-minute screen share session, we're going to zoom in past the theory and straight to the tools. So one feature, one workflow, one step-by-step guide at a time. Before we dive in, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Alexandra Paquette, also known as Alex P. I am a sales engineer here at SmartBug Media. And so for today, the feature that we want to cover is called restoring property edits for bulk changes. So we've all been there. I mean, done an import that goes sideways, use the workflow that misfires, and suddenly thousands of records have the wrong data, and then panic. So what we need to do next usually would be to take a few hours to do some manual cleanup, re-importing data, or fixing the workflow. Today, we're showing you the undo button that we've all been waiting for. Before we get started, 3 prerequisites required to access this specific feature. 1, you must be on a HubSpot Enterprise account. So I have at least one hub at the Enterprise tier. 2, the user doing this manipulation needs to have super admin permissions. And 3, since this is a public beta, make sure to opt in this specific beta. So let's dive into the demo portion, and I'll show you how this works in HubSpot. All right, so for this specific example, I've used the contact object as well as the status contact property. So how does that work? So I want to go to CRM contacts. And then in this index view, you'll notice that the status here, so the property status, all of the values seem to be inactive, which was kind of surprising because all of these records are supposed to be active records. So status equals active. And so what I noticed was that a workflow had caused that bulk change for the status property. And so what we want to do now is revert that data for the status property back to active for all those contacts. So what we're going to do is click on those 3 buttons here and click on Restore Property Edits. Just for your information here, HubSpot can restore property values up to the last 45 versions, but only within the specific time period of 7 days. So just make sure to be mindful of that. So next you want to click on Prepare a Restore. And again, preparing the restore takes some time. So we'll be notified by HubSpot when it's ready. And once it's ready, we'll have 24 hours to preview and restore. First, we want to select the source. In this case, the source was a workflow. It could have been an import, so either or. But in my case, it was a workflow. So that the workflow triggered the bulk change data for the status property. Next, you want to choose the workflow that caused that impact. So we're going to search for bulk status change. The property that was impacted is status right here. And then the date was today. It could have been yesterday, this week, or a custom date range. I'm just going to select today. You can also click on the advanced filters. If ever you had turned on and off the workflow multiple times during an hour or two, you can always use a specific time range for reference. And so then you want to click on Prepare or Restore. So you see HubSpot will notify us when it's ready for us to preview. So you'll notice here that HubSpot has shown us ready to preview. So our restore is ready to preview. So you want to scroll over here to open preview. And again, here HubSpot notes, restored property edits will not be re-enrolled in workflows and lists. Amazing news. And then you want to scroll down here just to see and make sure that the correct number of records and properties are used. So 11 records, which is exactly what we had in our contact records. And then properties, only one property has been impacted, which is the status, which makes a total of 11 changes. Correct. Up next, we have the details of all of the specific records that are being impacted. And we have the property that's being changed. So the status property, the source of what originally changed the property, as well as the current value and the restores to value, which is active. Amazing. So you want to scroll down and click on Restore 11 changes, confirm with HubSpot that it's 11 changes, and click on Confirm. Once you've clicked on Confirm, you'll see Restore in progress. So in this case, we're going to give it about a few seconds for it to complete the work. In other cases, it could take a bit more time. Again, make sure to check every now and then. And once the restore in progress will be changed to restored, as we see right below, then you'll be able to validate that data back into your index page. Success, 11 values are restored. Now, how do we confirm this? You want to go back to contacts and see on the index page, has the status reverted back to active? And confirm, there it is, the status has reverted back to active for all of our contacts. Okay, so just to recap again, make sure to have those prerequisites set. So make sure that you're on an enterprise account, that you have super admin permissions to do this, and that you have opted into the public beta. And lastly, if ever your data has seen, better days and you need a hand with cleaning up strategy or just brainstorming, reach out to me, Alex P, or the team here at SmartBug, and we'll be there to help. See you next time.
Thank you for watching.